A single habit repeated every day barely registers as a problem until the repair bill arrives, and when it does, it rarely comes alone. Stack 11 of these habits together, and you are looking at damage that can quietly exceed what the car itself is worth. The real danger is not the cost. It is the timing. These habits destroy fuel pumps, sensors, and engines from the inside out, and the symptoms only appear once the damage is already done. Today, you are going to see 11 of the most common and most expensive driving habits in America, why they are so destructive, and exactly what to do instead. Stay until the end, because some of these are so routine that most drivers never once question them. Number 11. Topping off the cooling system with tap water. This one has been quietly destroying cooling systems for decades. It looks like a reasonable shortcut. The coolant level is low, tap water is free, and the reservoir is right there. But what you are actually pouring in is a slow-acting problem. Tap water contains minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium, that behave completely differently once they are inside a running engine. With every heat cycle, those minerals deposit along the walls of the radiator passages and heater core. The process is gradual, but the result is predictable. Flow gets worse, the engine starts running hot in traffic or under load, and the heater stops performing the way it should. By the time those symptoms become obvious, the restriction is already significant. Then comes the second layer of damage. Those same minerals increase the electrical conductivity of the fluid, which accelerates corrosion on aluminum components throughout the system. The radiator, thermostat housing, and heater core all begin to degrade. One of the first signs is a faint sweet smell inside the cabin combined with foggy windows. That is coolant leaking from the heater core, and at that point the repair is no longer minor. There is a third scenario that makes everything worse. Mixing incompatible coolant types creates chemical reactions that can thicken the fluid into a gel-like substance that clogs passages and damages the water pump and seals simultaneously. The final result is overheating, systemic failure, and repair costs that routinely run between $1,000 and $2,000 in the United States. The solution is straightforward. Always use the correct coolant for your vehicle, either pre-mixed or diluted with distilled water. If tap water has been in the system for an extended period, a full flush now is considerably cheaper than the failure it will eventually prevent. Number 10. Driving with miscalibrated sensors. Modern vehicles do not simply respond to driver input. They interpret the world through a network of sensors and make dozens of real-time decisions based on that data. Stability control, ABS, lane assist, automatic emergency braking, all of it depends on extremely precise, continuously updated information. The problem is that almost any service or repair can quietly knock those sensors out of calibration. An alignment, new suspension components, a windshield replacement, even a minor front-end impact can shift how these systems read the car's position and movement. When that happens, the vehicle starts reacting to a version of reality that no longer matches what is actually occurring. Drivers report the steering wheel correcting itself unexpectedly on the highway. Others experience random braking events in normal traffic. Many see ABS or traction control warning lights appear without any apparent cause. In each case, the underlying issue is the same. The car is making decisions based on inaccurate inputs. In a genuine emergency, a miscalibrated stability control system does not just fail to help. It can actively respond in the wrong direction, delaying corrections or executing them incorrectly at the moment they matter most. The fix is simple but widely ignored. Anytime suspension geometry, alignment, or related components are touched, a sensor recalibration needs to follow. Think of it as a digital alignment that keeps the physical and electronic systems speaking the same language. Number 9. Replacing tires the wrong way. Replacing just 2 tires instead of 4 looks like a reasonable way to cut costs. In many cases, it is fine. In others, depending entirely on how the vehicle is built, it causes damage that costs dramatically more than the tires that were saved. On all-wheel drive systems, New tires have a measurably larger diameter than worn ones. The difference can seem negligible, but to the drivetrain, it reads as a constant traction discrepancy between axles. The system interprets this as persistent wheel slip and continuously attempts to compensate. That sustained correction generates heat and mechanical stress inside the center differential or transfer case, wearing components that were never designed to handle that kind of continuous load. The other common mistake is prioritizing the front tires. It sounds like the logical choice since the front handles steering and, on front-wheel drive vehicles, propulsion as well. But vehicle stability under emergency conditions is primarily governed by rear axle grip. When the rear tires have less traction than the front, the back of the car loses control first, which is how highway spins happen. The correct rule is consistent and simple. The best tires always go on the rear axle. On all-wheel drive vehicles, replace all four or stay within the tread depth difference specified by the manufacturer. Number 8. Letting the engine idle for too long. Extended idling feels harmless because nothing dramatic happens while you are sitting there. The engine is running, the car is quiet, everything seems normal. But internally, several things are going wrong simultaneously. When an engine idles for long periods, it never reaches the temperature required for complete fuel combustion. Unburned fuel enters the oil and begins breaking down its lubricating properties from the inside. Over time, this contamination reduces protection across all the moving components the oil is supposed to preserve. One of the clearest warning signs is an oil level that rises between changes instead of dropping, which is never normal. Direct injection engines accumulate carbon buildup faster under prolonged idling conditions, with deposits forming on the valves, pistons, and injectors. The results show up as misfires, rough operation, and gradually reduced performance. Diesel engines face a specific version of this problem. Extended idling accelerates clogging in the diesel particulate filter, triggering forced regeneration cycles and warning lights that compound the issue further. The habit of idling the engine to warm it up is not protecting the car. In most modern vehicles, it is shortening engine life. The correct approach is to start the engine, allow it roughly 30 to 60 seconds of idle, and then begin driving gently. Movement warms the engine faster, reduces fuel contamination, and keeps the system cleaner over time. Number 7. Lugging the engine. There is a reason experienced drivers wince when they hear it. That shuddering, struggling sensation when the car is pulling hard in too high a gear is not just uncomfortable. It is mechanical stress operating well beyond what the engine was designed to tolerate. Lugging occurs when the load demands more torque than the current gear and RPM can cleanly deliver. The engine labors, combustion becomes uneven, and in turbocharged engines, the situation can escalate quickly. Knocking, that metallic pinging from deep inside the engine, indicates detonation, an uncontrolled combustion event inside the cylinder that can damage pistons and bend connecting rods. There is no gradual version of this failure. The structural damage from repeated detonation is real and cumulative, and it can become catastrophic in less than 30 minutes of improper driving in severe cases. Beyond the combustion risk, there is a lubrication issue that receives far less attention. At low RPM under high load, oil flow through the engine is insufficient for the friction being generated. Critical components like the crankshaft bearings experience accelerated wear that does not produce immediate symptoms but accumulates steadily. The perceived fuel economy benefit of staying in a higher gear disappears entirely once this damage begins to compound. The rule is straightforward. If the car is shaking or struggling, downshift immediately. The engine needs to spin freely, not fight through every revolution. Number 6. Resting your hand on the gear shifter. This one looks completely harmless because it feels completely harmless. It is a relaxed, natural driving posture that millions of people have adopted without a second thought. But the gear shifter is mechanically connected to the selector fork and synchronizer inside the transmission, and even the light, passive weight of a resting hand applies continuous pressure to components that were engineered for brief, precise contact rather than sustained load. That constant friction generates heat and promotes wear in parts that should be experiencing almost none between shifts. The progression is gradual. Shifts begin to feel slightly harder. Unusual noises appear during gear changes, and in more advanced cases, the transmission can begin struggling to stay in gear entirely. The most dangerous scenario is a gear that pops out into neutral on its own at highway speed. The warning signs are audible and tactile before it reaches that point. Hard shifts and grinding are the transmission communicating that something is wrong. The fix requires no mechanical knowledge and costs nothing. Both hands on the wheel between gear changes. The shifter exists to be used, not rested on. Number 5. Parking without engaging the parking brake. Shifting into park feels like a complete action because the car stops moving and stays stopped. But what is actually holding the vehicle in place is a small internal component called the parking pawl, a metal pin that locks the transmission output shaft. It is robust enough for its intended purpose. That purpose is serving as a secondary safety measure, not the primary load-bearing anchor for the entire vehicle on a slope. On inclines, shifting directly into park without the parking brake transfers the full weight of the car onto that single component. Repeated across thousands of parking events, this wears the pawl prematurely. When it fails, the car moves. The correct parking sequence is simple and takes no additional time. Bring the car to a stop, shift to neutral, set the parking brake, and only then move the selector to park. In this sequence, the parking brake carries the vehicle's weight, and the transmission component serves its actual design function as a backup. One small habit change that removes an entirely unnecessary load from a part that is genuinely difficult and expensive to repair when it fails. Number 4. Using launch control routinely. If the car has it, the temptation to use it is obvious. It is there specifically to produce the most aggressive, controlled acceleration the vehicle is capable of delivering, but that capability was engineered for occasional, deliberate use, not for daily deployment at every traffic light. Every launch control activation puts simultaneous maximum stress on the clutch, transmission, axles, and differential. These are not systems designed to absorb that kind of load on a casual, repetitive basis. Certain 8-speed automatic transmissions found in U.S. market vehicles have hard programmed limits on launch control activations, sometimes as few as 50 times over the life of the unit. The reason those limits exist is that the thermal and mechanical stress of each activation is meaningful and cumulative. Overheating from repeated use can trigger limp mode, and transmission failures before 20,000 miles have been documented in vehicles where launch control was treated as a default driving mode. Using it sparingly and understanding exactly what the car is absorbing when you do is not timidity. It is the difference between a feature you enjoy for the life of the vehicle and a repair that arrives before the first major service interval. Number 3. Using low-quality fuel. By approximately 30,000 miles, most engines have begun developing measurable carbon buildup through normal operation. Combustion produces deposits. That is unavoidable. What is not unavoidable is how fast those deposits accumulate, and that is where fuel quality becomes a direct financial variable. Lower-grade fuels carry fewer detergent additives, which means the natural cleaning action that premium fuels provide as part of normal combustion simply does not happen. Research has shown that fuels with better additive packages can produce up to 19 times fewer deposits under equivalent operating conditions. The consequences of accelerated buildup are consistent. Power output drops gradually, fuel consumption increases, and operation becomes rougher as injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers accumulate deposits that resist the fuel-air mixture rather than allowing it to flow freely. A full intake and fuel system cleaning in the United States typically runs between $300 and $800. The cents per gallon savings from cheaper fuel disappear quickly when measured against that bill. Number 2. Constantly running on low fuel. Most drivers treat the low fuel warning light as their standard refueling cue. It feels like an efficient approach, using every mile available before stopping. The problem is that the indicator is not always precise and can underestimate the remaining range, which occasionally means roadside stops in inconvenient circumstances. That is the minor issue. The significant one involves the fuel pump. The pump relies on the fuel surrounding it for cooling during operation. When the tank level drops consistently low, the pump runs hotter than it was designed to, and its service life can be cut roughly in half under those conditions. A pump rated to last well past 100,000 miles can begin failing much earlier when routinely asked to operate near the bottom of an empty tank. And fuel pump failure is not a gradual, manageable degradation. It can produce sudden stalling while driving, which is a safety event rather than simply a maintenance problem. Keeping the tank above a quarter full costs nothing and preserves a component that is both expensive to replace and dangerous to lose unexpectedly. Number 1. Using the wrong oil viscosity. Modern engines are built to tolerances that leave almost no margin for deviation. The gap between moving components, the pressure required to maintain a protective oil film, the flow rate through narrow passages, all of it is calculated around a specific viscosity range. When the oil is too thick, it does not reach critical areas quickly enough during cold starts, leaving components running against metal contact for seconds that accumulate into significant wear over time. When it is too thin, the protective film breaks down under load and heat, and lubrication in high-pressure zones fails at precisely the moments it is needed most. Either scenario affects the variable valve timing systems present in most modern engines, which depend on oil pressure delivered at the correct viscosity to function accurately. The damage that follows is not always immediate, but it is not subtle when it arrives. Warped cylinder heads and cracked engine blocks have been reported in vehicles where incorrect oil was used consistently, with repair costs routinely exceeding $1,000 to $3,000 and sometimes far beyond that. There are documented cases of engines sustaining serious damage in under 15,000 miles due to nothing more than the wrong oil specification being used repeatedly. The correct specification is printed on the oil cap and listed in the owner's manual. If there is any uncertainty about what has been used in recent oil changes, a full change to the correct specification as soon as possible is the cheapest insurance available. Every habit on this list started as something that seemed perfectly reasonable. Running low on fuel saves a stop. Staying in a high gear burns less fuel. The problem is that engines, transmissions, and drivetrain systems were engineered around specific conditions, and the moment those conditions are consistently violated, the accumulated cost of that violation eventually becomes unavoidable. None of these fixes are complicated. None of them require tools or mechanical knowledge. They require only the awareness that the habits you maintain today determine what your repair bills look like in 12 months. Stay informed, drive intelligently, and take care of the machine that takes care of you.